This episode of After Dark is brought to you by, well, you. If you want to support the Boss Rush Network and our family of podcasts, head on over to our Patreon at patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. Thanks for your continued support.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Boss Rush After Dark, the alternative podcast show for the Boss Rush Network. It's your boy, back, LeRon Dawkins, in the house. And with me, as always, my wonderful, beautiful co-host, the always enlightened, ever excited. Wait a second. That's wrong.
Eddie?
That's not Eddie. Eddie B's not on this show. What am I doing? No. The wonderful, the exuberant, the energetic, flexible Stephanie Klimov in the house.
Oh, thank you. I get my own set of adjectives today. Good evening.
Yeah. Always nice to see you. All right, and the man himself, Mr. Pat Klein.
Hello. I get the adjective of the man.
Yeah.
For I am a man.
The myth and the legend, Corey Dirrig, is right behind you.
I am here also. Thank you.
I am here also.
One day I'll
He
get a
almost said
second
that.
adjective.
He almost said that like hello, all you happy people. Jesus. How's everybody been?
Great.
Surviving.
I have arrived.
Oh,
I don't know what that means, but
that's I guess well, that's better than saying you have left, so
it's true. If I left, what would happen?
I would be sad and cry.
the show is still going on though.
I'd probably go to bed.
My heart will go. No, I'm just kidding. Okay.
Oh, by the way, Pat, we missed you last week.
Aww.
Speak
We
for yourself,
understand
dude.
You had adulting to do. We understand.
I still have adulting to do. It sucks.
No, you don't.
We all have adulting.
Just skip
to do,
it. It'll
and
be
that
fine.
sucks.
If I
That's all
skip
good.
it, then I can't pay for my video game addiction.
It's a vicious cycle, ain't it?
Yep.
Oh yeah, for real. So what's the haps, y'all? What's new? What's going on? What's exciting?
What's exciting? Well, I've been packing for feels like, a year and a half now. I know I've been packing a bunch of stuff. If you look real close behind me, you can see two huge totes full of video game art books and strategy guides that are heavy as fuck.
Yep. I one time packed all my PlayStation games in one box. Let me tell you, that thing was heavy.
That's why I went digital, mostly. I'm going to be honest with you. I know this is a video game podcast, and we're really trying to steer away from video games, but after my apartment burned down, and I lost half my gaming collection, and digital games became a real thing, let me tell you, going all digital on Xbox and PlayStation has made moving a hell of a lot easier, because you only have to move the box.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Point.
Yep.
And now that Switch games are so tiny, it takes 17 of them to equal one disc. So,
Yo, shoot. Speaking of Switch games and being so tiny,
did you find something tiny under your pillow there, LeRon?
no, thank God. I lost track because the little cases that you can basically put all your Switch games in. Before that, it was a case you put all your 3DS games in, and before that, it was a Switch you put all your Game Boy Advance games in. Okay, I lost track of my case that had my Switch games in it, and could not find it for a solid month.
Oh shit!
I was beginning to panic because I was sitting there thinking, because whenever I take my Switch with me, whenever I take my Switch out the house with me and whatnot, I usually carry the case with me too.
Mm-hmm.
And I was getting to the point where I was like, oh my God, did I drop it somewhere out in public or something? I called my boyfriend a couple of times and like, hey, have you seen my little case of Switch games? He's like, no. He's like, when's the last time you ever seen it? I'm over at your place. That's why I'm calling you. And so I was beginning to panic because I'm kind of 50. I'm kind of 50-50 right now. Like I have physical Switch games, but I also have a bunch of games on digital and stuff like that. And that scared the living hell out of me. But I found it. It had fallen. It had fallen off of my nightstand table and somehow got underneath the nightstand table.
Mm.
And the only reason why I found it is because I was chasing one of the dogs and she decided to run under the bed. So right when I go and reach to get her out of there, I just happened to look and I'm like, "That's my game case."
Oh, I'm glad you found it. I've been through a similar
Yeah.
scenario because I got a game case and I had like heck 20 of those small little things in that whatever. And I'm like, in a second, I could have lost them all.
That's like your entire library, like hundreds of dollars, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that
Yeah.
progress. Because
Well, you know.
well, I guess, yeah, never mind. The saves can be digital.
I
Yeah,
mean, hey,
and-
video games are part of life, and when I say I hate to say it, it's only because it makes it sound like I don't have a life. But the
Video games
thing
are
I'm really
life.
most
Video games
excited for right now is what we just talked about before we started recording was PAX East, because we're through mid-January now. I mean, I am looking for a Chinese New Year in February, but February just as a month sucks. It's still dark, it's still cold, nothing really exciting about February. So next is March, and the first big chunk of days I take off of work for this year is for PAX. So I'm very excited.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm excited too because this is my first time going to a major con, in a while, So yeah, I'm excited for it, and hopefully they send me this paperwork saying I'm in.
Yeah.
Because I will
Just email
cry.
them again. Make sure you get it. Because
They're gonna be like,
we could actually record an episode of After Dark.
Oh,
Together.
dude.
oh yeah,
We can do various things in person.
Oh, that would be
So-
awesome. Okay. The hype is real. Okay.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited now. Oh, I'm so excited.
It's gonna what's get me through this dark time known as winter in New England. So
The dark time.
I'm going to. So speaking of getting out of here, I'm going to Florida in like 2 weeks, and I have no clue that I'm going.
I'm so jelly.
And my brain has not flipped that switch to say get excited you're going on vacation, because I've just been so all over the place. I mean, like I said on the last show, like work has been busy, right? We got purchased by a bigger company. We're launching our next season of our podcast the week after I'm gone, so I got to get it all posted and edited and everything. And
I got a question for you real quick.
Yeah.
Have you been doing, since you started the company, have you been on every season of that podcast, or was that podcast already going before you started with the company?
I began my work on that season in season 3. So right at the end of season 3, I took over.
Okay.
I'm not on the podcast. I'm just the director and the producer.
You're the director, yeah.
So
Only the director. Okay.
yeah. I mean,
Well-
that's my job though. I mean, it's this show's fault that's my job. So
It's this show's fault.
No, did I ever tell you guys that story?
No.
My boss hired me because of this show. And
After Dark.
No,
After Dark.
not this show, but Boss
Okay.
Rush in general.
Okay.
Wasn't that how you wasn't LeRon like your recommendee person?
Yeah, he was one of my
Yeah.
recommenders.
Yeah, I actually spoke with him.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
thanks,
no. That's a nice freaking thing to have on your resume though, like to be able for them to see physical proof of something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you just go to that YouTube channel and like that everything in the last 2.5 years is like not our YouTube channel, but like that YouTube channel too is like a real for future job opportunities if I ever get laid off or fired, or I hope not. I really hope not, but at least it's there. Anyways, enough about me. Whoops. I did do the logo though for the new season, and I'm very proud of it.
Aw.
Let's check it out. Super creative guy over here.
Yep, that's me. Let's see. If you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dierig, Francisco Santillan, and Todd Oxtra. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network and our family of podcasts. I'm going to send it.
Well, you know what? Actually, here's something else that I might be looking forward to that could be used as a segue for one of our topics. Is that I'm in talks with my significant other for him to move in the spring.
Ooh,
Oh, look at that.
Hmm.
that's fun.
Which is, one of those type of talks when you are in a long-term relationship. There's no rule in the book about when it's best for people to move in together. I've seen people move in together only after a couple months. I've seen people only move in after many, many years, and it really depends, in my opinion, on the couple and where they are in life and what their goals are as to when. It's exciting, but when I say scary, not because I have any reservations, but just because the last person I lived with, it ended up in a divorce. So it's kind of like, well, I'm 0 for 1 so far.
Is that so? I'm going to ask you a question. You don't have to answer if you don't want to, but is that conversation scarier now that you've experienced a failure before, and especially with a kid involved?
I do say the stakes are higher, for sure. But the only thing that kind of negates that fear is that I feel way more comfortable and happy in this relationship than probably any part of my marriage, which I don't want to discount that. Like there was still happiness there. Because I can't turn around and be like, no, that was like the worst years of my life. Like I had happy moments in it. There were bits of love in it. But this is a relationship where I feel full love for both ways. So yes and no. Like the stakes are so high. Like I do not want to subject my child to have a revolving door of men and or women in my life in that way. And for people that do, like I cannot be the judge of that. I just, for me, myself, and I just don't want my son to see that. I don't want him, yeah. So there's a lot at risk, but I feel like what we've been through, the series of talks that we've had, it's a bet I feel comfortable making. So.
Okay. I was just curious. Like, I mean, I know that I was on the opposite end of that conversation at one point. Like, I dated someone with a kid for a while, and we had that conversation, and clearly that didn't go very well. Didn't end, positively, we'll say. But I was just wondering if that.
Well, hey, kids are a big deal. I'm actually less worried about him moving in and interacting with my kid versus his kid coming over every other weekend and me flipping out and slapping the shit out of him.
Right. I forgot he had a kid too.
JK, I'm not going to physically assault a child, everyone, just so y'all know I'm kidding. But I really.
She's not
kidding. That kid tries me. So.
Oh, man. Kids, they're great. I love them when they're asleep or I'm not home.
Yeah, there's definitely. Yeah, but anyway, I don't want to keep going into make it the Stephanie show, but I don't know if that's something we want to talk about adjusting with long-term relationships, or I don't know, LeRon, I'm fumbling. Help.
Actually, no, that's a good segue because I want to talk about like I don't know, like, just like how we do about navigating ourselves into being long term relationships, and I'm not gonna put any hard guidelines on this, we could talk about like just the challenges and the dynamics of maintaining intimacy in a long term relationship, also just everything, communication, changing of desires, because that's a big deal as like time progresses, like like for our other individual, it changes, of course. And with that change, like sometimes the desire changes. Like like sometimes like there's always like this joke. There's always like this joke, like and sometimes like you hear it in couples counseling, like when they talk about the things they want out of each other, like particularly like romantically speaking, and one person's like I didn't know you wanted that, and the other person's like I didn't know you did that.
Yeah.
Things of that nature. Yeah. And basically, because Corey, you're married, so like I don't know, like maybe like stuff that stuff that you do, like like for to keep the connection strong as times pass. Because how long have you been married now?
Oh God. 2016. So this will be year 8.
I thought he was
Okay.
going to say 26 years. I'm like, how old are you, dude?
I
No,
know, right?
2016. We got married in October 2016. So we've been together about 7.5 years, I guess.
Ooh,
And Stephanie, how long were you married?
I wasn't married very long. I think about, oh, ouch. It's actually since technically 2015.
Oh, okay.
5 years. 5 years married, but I was with him for like a couple years before that. So together, a total of 7 years.
Okay. Okay, my current relationship now is we're about to hit 3 years.
Wow, that much time
Yeah,
flew by, huh?
yeah, right. Yeah, I know. Like we're a COVID couple. Like that's when we got together.
COVID couple.
Yeah.
I have a question for all y'all before we get to the long-term aspect, because I feel like this is part of it. Like, are any of us kind of prone to honeymoon phases? Like the honeymoon
Um.
periods in the beginning of relationships?
Yeah, I know for sure. Like I know for sure. Me and my boyfriend, we had our honeymoon phase, but I think we're about to reignite that honeymoon phase. Like once we move in together,
Yeah,
because
that usually provides some spark, I would say.
yeah, well, once I had to get used to his schedule and stuff like that, because like you guys know, like he's a professor slash instructor at a university out here, stuff like that, and and I work from home. I work from home essentially and stuff like that. So so like usually like like when he needs his downtime, he needs his downtime, because he's also pseudo introverted, which I'm like, how does that work being a college professor, how's that work, uh but yeah, so like he needs his downtime, so and I respect that. So sometimes like respecting that downtime also means that like you have to like put boundaries up on like the actual physical romantic intimacy and stuff like that, and that doesn't mean I'm in a sexless relationship. Far beyond that, it's just like but I also know this, like I also have my own like ebb and flow about when okay, for lack of a better word, when I'm horny versus when I'm not, and stuff like that. So like sometimes it seems like the off switch is always off for me, until I want it. Yeah. So what were we talking about again?
If any of us are prone to honeymoon phases in the
Yeah.
beginning.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because it was really about to take a slant into sex. Okay, so I'm glad I asked the question.
Shocker. LeRon's
Just to-
conversation.
just to get back on track. Yeah. No, I see us once we moving together. I see us like reigniting our honeymoon phase because actually, if I think about it now, like like right when we got serious, he went out of town for a month because like it was summer break, and he usually does
Mhm.
this thing where he goes back to the West Coast to see his family. He's usually there for about a month. So like right as things got good, like he left.
He peaced out. He was like, peace.
Mhm.
Yep, I was like, it's definitely me, not you. Okay, yeah, got it.
Must have
Remember
been
when you were
love,
worried?
but it's over now.
Oh, God.
Must have been true, but I lost it somehow.
God. Not bad, Pat. Not
Thank you.
bad. You win. You win 2024. How do you feel?
Tired.
Yeah. Yep.
But yay!
I would definitely say that the longer the relationship goes, it's harder to make things feel fresh. It's also harder when you have 2 kids under the age of 6 that are up all the time and sick and snotty and wake you up so early that by the time they go to bed, you want to go to bed. And it's like,
Yeah.
it's definitely difficult, but I don't know. We make it work. We have alone time. We try to make sure we have it planned, and
Pencil it in.
Yeah, penciled in. So yeah, I mean, it's difficult, but we make it work. And I actually think our relationship is probably better than it was maybe like 2 or 3 years ago, in all honesty.
Nice.
Just because like my work situation changed, and this boss rush situation changed a lot over the course of that, where like I wasn't, because like I was working like 12 to 14-hour days at my old job. LeRon remembers this. And I was getting up and going to work at 4:30 a.m. and coming home at 6:30, and then getting the kid, my daughter, I guess at the time, ready for bed, and then sitting down to do podcasts all night, and then going to bed at 12:30, 1 o'clock, and then getting back up at 4:30. And it was rough on everybody. And so I think just a better like, not to sound like selfish or egotistical or whatever, but my situation changed, so it made the entire situation change, right? And
That's not selfish. That's a wonderful move that would benefit everybody.
yeah,
Family
so,
unit.
yeah, and so I know there are still things that, like, I don't know, I do get a little obsessive with this stuff a lot of the times, because I know what we can be and where we could be, and what, and LeRon and I have had this tinkering conversation before, where like, if we know something can look better or be better or sound better, we're going to go in and try to do everything we possibly can to make that happen.
Yeah.
And that comes at the hindrance of the show in general sometimes, at least for me. So that whole thing is, but like, we're doing a third of the shows that we were doing at that point, and the quality has gotten infinitely better, the output has gotten better and more consistent, and my life, making time for my wife on nights where we aren't recording, has made a lot of difference. I don't play as many games or do as much as I would like to do, but that's not like priority.
Oh, that's great.
So everything over the last couple of years has gotten better. I would say, for me, at least.
Seems like patience is key, huh?
Yeah. Now tomorrow, my wife might serve me with divorce papers, and then this conversation is going to get edited out before it gets posted. But as of right now, everything's great.
Nice.
She won't divorce you until after Disney.
We're about to be real penny pinchers for a long time, because we spent a little bit more than we wanted to on the house. It was definitely the high end of our budget / maybe over a little bit. And the interest rate is high, and we can't refinance until September. Hopefully the interest rate will go down by then. Another reason why the previous show we just recorded, I'm kind of making the backlog a higher priority this year, is because I have those games and it doesn't cost me anything to play them now that they're already here. So that's something I kind of really want to be better at too, is like not spend money where I don't have to.
You know what I will say is ever since I started reading, no, I don't read it anymore. When I was late high school, early college, I used to read a lot of Cosmopolitan magazine because I was an introvert, a geek, and very I was a late bloomer, so I knew nothing about, having game and meeting chicks and dudes and whatever. So I would read Cosmo religiously, hoping that I'd magically become a really good serial dater or something. And a lot of, aside from like immediate dating, there's always articles on like, make sure your relationship doesn't get stale, or he or she will cheat on you. Like, all this fear was already built into my head. So I became hyper aware of keeping things fresh in a relationship. So on one hand, it served me well that I always kind of make it a point to have a date night on a semi-consistent basis, fresh, keep things fresh in the bedroom and whatever. But it also came as a detriment too, because I'm always worried that if we're just having a low-key couple of date nights, that I'm afraid that I'm being boring, if that makes sense. Because I do feel that temptation to be like, oh, it's just another night, which is great because I'm so tired of child rearing and working that I just want to sit down and watch 90 Day Fiance and make my, you know what? My partner actually does not mind watching it, or so he says. So,
Mhm.
I am a little bit worried about the moving in part from a sense that, speaking of kids, because I'm spoiled in the sense that the nights that I hang out with him have been on my child-free nights, so it's completely not hindered, no offense. The few nights that he has been over with my son, like, we try to go in my room and close the door, but he's like a cat. Like, as soon as the door is closed, he's like, "Mom, what are you doing? Why is your door closed?" I'm like, "Damn it."
What are you doing here? What's going on?
One time
Hey.
one time I was in an outfit, so I had to like wrap myself in a blanket and walk out like a human burrito, and like I'm like, please don't let him see what's underneath here. So I do fear about things getting stale, but at the same time I think I'm just kinda I over worry.
Yeah. It happens though when you're in a I don't know. It's when you're married as long as me and my wife have been. You kind
8
of just
years.
expect things, and like I do try to do some things once in a while of like unexpected. Like I'll bring her home flowers once in a while, or
Oh.
try to make something decent for dinner once in a while. But like it's again, it's really hard when you have little kids that won't leave you alone and like sleep in your bed half the time, to the point where like when they're both in there, I have to go to the couch. I can't I can't do it.
Mm. Well, what do you guys think about the concept of letting go? I know the most stereotypic use of that is that once people get married, they let go immediately, like they gain a ton of weight, or maybe they just stop trying sexually or anything at all. Do any of you feel that temptation to let go, like in any manner, like whether it's physical or mentally or whatever?
I feel like I definitely did. Um, I mean, it wasn't even like after we got married. I would say it happened like maybe like a year into our dating relationship. I just stopped really like, I got comfortable, and that's, and then after like right before COVID, I really tried to make it a point where like I need to lose some weight, because this is not what I looked like when we started dating, and like my wife still looks exactly the same and still, what I started dating, and I blew up like a balloon. And then I mean that's why I'm trying to lose weight now too. Because during COVID I did get comfortable, but I was at an active job, so like I really didn't feel like if I ate 2 spicy chicken sandwiches from Wendy's, I was gonna go walk it off or run it off or push giant car parts all over the place. But when I got a desk job and you start noticing, it's like, oh boy,
Yeah.
It's a good thing I have a standing desk though at work, because sitting down, not the greatest on your back.
No.
I kind of want to
Standing up
get.
hurts the feet, though.
No, I mean, I have a stress mat, but I kind of want to get some sort of standing desk for my new office. Like, even if it's just one of those ones that sits on top of your regular desk.
I have that
Yeah.
I have
front of
that
the
too,
house.
but I use it as a desk.
Yeah.
I put it on the floor and just elevate it.
I definitely want to get one of those for that reason. We have an extra one at work. I wonder if I could just take it home. Anyways, not trying to con my way into getting one of these free standing desks. But anyways,
Yeah, that's gonna a standing desk is something I wanna get once I move out and move into the new place. I would to answer your question, Stephanie. I don't know about anything I will let go, even though I don't know, I feel like well, the one thing I think we all do is we let go of the facade that we put on when we first meet somebody.
oh yeah,
We let go of that pretty quickly because it's like once we realize there's gonna be a future, it's like this is a lot of work to try to keep that shit up, and plus they're gonna find this shit out anyway. So yeah,
yeah.
I'm high strung though, so I don't ever want my boyfriend to like lose that idea of me that he has he's either like allowed himself to see or that I projected, you know. So like I'm weird like that. But I mean, like I've already gained like 25 pounds of relationship weight, so I guess in a way I've let go, and I didn't even want to do that.
It happens though. It sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice that you know are comfortable around somebody that whatever, but it still sucks.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Sorry,
comfortability.
I don't have anything on this conversation as being the single guy and the fact I've already let go.
Let it go.
I can't imagine getting in a relationship and letting go even more. What would that even be like?
I don't
I'm
know.
already fat.
No, you're not.
I'm fat. I'm like 300 pounds.
To be fair, I've only seen you from the shoulders up ever
You're
in my
you're
entire
you're big
life.
boned. You're big boned.
Yep, and bellied.
Man.
Well, in past either relationships or dating situations, have you ever felt the strong honeymoon phase appeal, or are you pretty immune to that?
I mean, I remember like probably one of the most serious relationships I have been in. Like, it was. Sad thing is, the relationship only lasted a month because she was moving, but it was like one of the best months of my life. Like, we
Mm.
dated like every day. Like, we went out and we adventured Chicago. We, tried new things and just like had the time of our life. And then she left. So
That happened to me one time where I was like, granted, this was in like high school or whatever, but I dated a girl that I really, 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 really liked. And she ended up like her parents got divorced or whatever, and she ended up moving. And that really sucked.
Oh.
That really sucked.
and
Yeah.
what sucked after is she found someone else like within 2 weeks
Oh.
after she moved.
Mm.
So it's like, wow, that meant nothing to you. Okay. Yeah.
That sucks.
Do you fear the idea of complacency in a long-term relationship? Or is that something you welcome? I know I shouldn't say welcome complacency, but changing perspectives, welcome the everyday aspect of relationship.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind just being like just hanging in a room, with my partner and just we could be doing completely separate things, but just being there, to be honest. Like, eh, I don't need to go out and, try and make a grand spectacle of everything. Like, I guess it was just, I want it to be there.
Mm.
Like, maybe she could be reading and I could be playing a video game, but like the fact that we're in the same
Mhm.
house, like that's just kind of what I want. But you know,
Yeah, that's always that feeling of like I like just the feeling of that person being in the vicinity of you makes you feel so much better.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like even when I'm out here, like when I'm out here by myself, like either working in here or in the living room, whatever, watching TV or playing a game or whatever, and I know my wife's like in the bedroom, like not she's sleeping, she has no awareness, right? I feel better when she's home and they're home and
Mhm.
around instead of just being here by myself because it's like whoa, by myself.
Yeah, yeah, and it's good that you have those grounded thoughts. When my partner expressed like like those initial anxiousness that you have when moving in, like, oh, you think we'll annoy each other if we're around each other all the time now? Like, I like my downtime. Sometimes I just want to lie down and be in peace. I'm like, guess what? So do I. I'm gonna be so happy to go in the other room and play on my PS5 while you're lying down closing your eyes. No problem. But I'm gonna love the fact that you're in the next room. If I ever walk to the kitchen, I can give you a hug and then keep walking. That's it. Trust me. Having to be actively involved with another human being every second, every day, all the time could be draining.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah. People.
Can't live without them. Can't live with them? No, wait. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's jump into this next topic real quickly here. How are we doing about balancing our work and personal life? Uh, well, I know this. Like as I pitched this to you guys, I was like, it's something that Corey, you and I definitely struggle with and need to be better about.
Yeah, the sad thing is I've gotten better and I'm still terrible at it.
Well, I'll go and start this one. I don't think I have an issue with balancing my work and personal life because, frankly put, I see work as nothing more than soulless beings. And, I put my hours in, I get paid for what I do, I leave, my work at it. Because honestly, like, I don't see the whole purpose of like sacrificing yourself for your job when the job will just easily sacrifice you for, better profits.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's a
Um,
cynical way of looking at it, but at the same time, it's like, hey, I will do my job. I will do my job to my description. But like, if you're paying me this amount of dollars on an assumed 40-hour-a-week basis, don't expect me to be working 50 to 60 hours a week.
Right.
Because now, let's say that $20 is now $10 because of it.
mhm.
Well, you know what? Okay.
I
Okay.
don't make $20 an hour, just so you know. I make a hell of a lot more than that.
Yeah.
But
Well, you
just
know what?
simple math.
Hold on. Let's segue for a second here. Like you guys. Okay, during the pandemic, you heard about you guys had to have heard about this thing called quiet quitting,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
where basically like you come in, you do your job for whatever a lot of amount of hours you come in. So if you have a 4 hour shift, you're in there for 4 hours, and as soon as the clock reaches that fourth hour, you're done. You know, like there is no staying an extra 5-10 minutes to finish up a project. There is no like so and so had to leave early. Can you cover their workload for a moment and stuff like that? Yeah, you get in there, you come in right on time, and you leave on time. You take your break on time and everything and stuff like that. And like a lot of companies, a lot of HR organizations, a lot of managers and supervisors were feeling some type of way about people doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Oh, go ahead. Go.
I wasn't saying anything. I was just filling the dead air.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's too bad for them. Like, that's why am I expected to stay later? Like, when it's not part of the contract. Like, seriously, when I started one of my first salary jobs, I actually got pulled into HR because I was only doing like 40 to 42 hours a week. And she's like, well, we expect you to do more like 50 to 60. It's like, what? She's like, yeah, well, this is why your salary now, so that we can use you more. We gave you a pay raise. And it's like, well, guess what? By what you just did, I'm effectively working more for less.
For
Is
less,
what
yeah.
you just did.
Yeah, so we need to renegotiate our contract.
No, I just looked for another job.
Ah, well, that too. That too.
So,
Yeah, that was my life like well, anyway, that was me a long time ago. As everybody who has listened to this podcast or know me, I was essentially told to be a pharmacist. Many who don't know me would laugh at that, but I was. But I busted my butt, gave my heart, soul, blood, sweat, and tears to the retail pharmacy that shall not be named. That was my first true career. And I burned out very badly. I burned out. I came in early, stayed late, covered shifts. I, I burned out so hard that I just don't think I actually have the capacity to do that again. Like I just don't. I don't think there's any looking back. That's not to say I don't work hard now, but in my job, yes, I have stayed late. I have done a little bit extra, but it's the exception, not the rule. In the past, it used to be the rule. Now it's the exception. So unless it is an emergency, which can happen, unless I really have, I'm a clock watcher now. I'm like, oh, 5 o'clock, goodbye. I am not seeking to be promoted. I don't want any leadership position. I don't want a management position. I want to do bare minimum now, no offense, because it pays the bills. Unless I get a job that I am passionate about, because pharmacy is not my passion, no offense, I will do what I need to do to get paid. Like I said, because of my profession, I understand I might need to go the extra mile occasionally, but that's it. And since then, and because of that, I have a better work-life balance. Back to the original topic, because yes, I need money to survive. I need money to live, knock on wood, comfortably. I need money to fuel my video game hobby, money to take care of my son. But at the same time, I've neglected me for many a year. And I also don't want to be the parent that's never present for their child. So, and trust me, the few times where I had to tell my child to go to the other room because I'm working, it makes me feel like a horrible human being. And I don't like that feeling. So I make time for myself. I make time for my kid. I do feel like I could still do even more, but I'm proud of how far I've gone to be able to draw that line and be like, no, no, no. It's not sustainable. If I kept doing what I did back in my retail pharmacy days, not sure if I'd still be here today.
I have my current job is actually the first job I think I've actually like really liked working and staying later if I need to. And I actually stayed over tonight about 15 minutes, and my boss, like, he didn't yell at me, but he's like, go home. He's like, it's 5:40, go home.
that's the kind of boss I am. Like, I seriously have coworkers that love to work and stay late. I'm like, dude, go now.
Yeah, I think it's because like I'm finally doing something that I feel like is worth my time and effort. And I mean, who knows? This could all just be a big scam, and I'm gonna get scammed out of like working a cool job and whatever at the end of the day. But for now, I enjoy it and it's super cool. And I'm excited for the events to start at the end of January. And I'm excited for the launch of a podcast, even though people won't email me back and like for guest spots. And, you know, that part of the job is fun. And this channel got me my job, and my job has made this channel better, if that makes sense. And so like I kind of use what I learned here to apply there and what I learned there to apply here. And like it's just, and I guess that's a terrible version of work-life balance because work has integrated into my life. But like also in terms of work-life balance, I think I've gotten better at the whole, like, you know, what we were talking about earlier is just, I just think I've gotten better at work-life balance and making time for my wife and my family in general. And, you know, trying to schedule, hey, I don't want to record podcasts more than 3 days a week. I want to spend, you know, go do things with my family. I want to go do, you know, I want to go to the zoo with my family or a park, or like, I don't know, go to bed before 2:00 in the morning would also be nice sometimes. And so I've set those guidelines for myself, you know, and it's worked pretty
awesome.
well. I wouldn't say it's perfect, but pretty well.
Well, one thing I know for sure is the easiest way to enjoy life is to have a job that you enjoy.
Mm.
And vice versa. The easiest way to enjoy your job is to have a job that makes that makes your life more enjoyable.
Yeah, it's definitely been this job has done so much for me in a lot of different ways, and that not being one of them, you know, is like it's just, I don't know. And I'm not just saying that because somebody from work might listen, because I don't think they do, but I'm saying it genuinely. Like, I truly love my job, and like it's so much, like I look forward to going to work every day to talk to people and getting ready for the day, and, you know, our production meetings and stuff and content meetings, and I don't know, it's just fun.
That's awesome to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Like I worked such shitty jobs for so long that like I wish everybody could experience what I experience at work every day, you know.
Mm.
And I feel bad that people don't. It kind of sucks for them. So
Yep, a lot of us just work to survive. I'm glad you found,
Yeah.
you know, the job that makes you happy doing it.
it was LeRon's great personal review thing. What do you call it? Reference. That's what they're called.
Reference. I was like, what? When did I review
The review
somebody?
thing.
Yeah.
When did I review somebody? I was genuinely concerned just now.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how this works. Anyways.
Look, last time I gave a review, I was told to never come back and eat at that establishment again.
Oh.
I feel like work-life balance at least in American culture, I'm sure things are a lot different in Europe and stuff like that. I think perhaps the mid to younger millennials and now Gen Z have kind of made that a bit of a priority in the workplace, and I feel like that balance, that sentiment is shifting, because I just feel like when I first entered the workforce, like people would laugh at the concept of work-life balance. What?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
bust your ass or you're considered lazy.
Yeah.
Now there's a lot, and I'm sure there's still that mentality out there, but at least the balance is slowly shifting, no pun intended with balance, where, oh wow, you know, you got to take care of that, you know, for example, that mental health, or, oh, you know, maternity leave or death in the family. Yeah, why don't you take time off and not check your emails or something? I don't know. It's a bit more socially acceptable to have a
Mhm.
work-life balance. Hate to say it.
Yeah. Definitely changed a lot of the way people think and do things. I also think the working from home aspect of COVID changed a lot of the ways people thought about working too, you know,
Good point. Yeah.
to the point
Oh my
where a lot of companies
and
are forcing
corporations
people
are
to come
fighting
back.
back on that shit, though.
I know.
God.
It's because they own all this real estate in these high cost
Yeah.
areas, and they need to have a reason to own those buildings. You know,
Yeah. I don't know what's going to happen with all those buildings.
Turn them into apartments.
And non-luxury apartments, please. I'm so sick and tired
No,
of.
it's all gonna be luxury apartments.
So yes, they could charge more. So stupid.
That's how it works. And then they're gonna buy the real estate all around, like the houses, and basically use those now as new stock. And yeah, so you have no choice but to live in high luxury ended condominiums and apartments because that's all you can afford in debt.
and
All right, well, before this gets depressing, geez. anything you want to do to wrap this before we wrap up? Anything you want to talk about
There's
before we wrap
no
up?
hope.
Always wrap it up.
Only darkness. The
Always.
deep
No.
sorry, we waited
swallowing
out right
pit
there.
Well, just
of
just
despair.
wanted to say to everybody, like it, even if it might feel like it's impossible for you to achieve work-life balance, try to find it in in a small way. Start small, and nothing works miracles overnight. People have tough financial situations, being a single mom, for example, or I don't know, lost or there's many things stacked against us. So if you are not in a position to be able to achieve that perfect work-life balance right away, that's okay. Just think of one small thing you could do for yourself to take care of yourself. Start there. One was that saying, the journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step.
Yeah. Well, that's actually wonderful advice, and that's actually a great spot for us to go ahead and end this show tonight. So, as always, I'd like to thank everyone for hanging out, tuning in, listening to us. This has been a wonderful episode of Boss Rush After Dark. We're doing all right. We're on a roll so far this year. Hopefully we don't putter out. I mean, it's only the second show of the year, but hopefully we don't sputter and like die on the side of the road, because as time goes along, it will happen. But yeah, on behalf of my co-host here tonight, I want to go ahead and thank you guys for hanging out with me. You guys are the reason why there's a show. And by the way, out there, you listeners and our patrons as well, you guys are also the reason why there's a show. So definitely check our show notes. Definitely see where how you can be more involved and active with Boss Rush After Dark, as well as the network. How you can get in contact and stay in contact with each one of us here on this panel tonight. And on behalf of my co-hosts, we love you. Have a wonderful night. Tune in for another all-new episode of Boss Rush After Dark coming at you next week, where we will talk about everything that's always never content appropriate for the other shows out there. But flubbed that, didn't I?
Oh well, that's fine.
Still got the gist of it.
All right. We love you guys. Have a good night. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace.
If you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dirrig, Francisco Santillan, and Todd Oxtra. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network and our family of podcasts.